to serve me.
Feast on flesh!
I need more mana. Out of mana. More mana. Out of mana. Death, take you. Out of mana. More mana.
Hey guys, Dante here back with another little video, and in this one I'll be explaining to you guys and showing you the build that I am currently playing and the build that is basically under construction because it is not a definitive version of what I intend to do. It's just a work in progress. So what we got here today, we are playing as a Infernalist, level 82, so we still got a long ways to go to improve the build. We are playing as a demon lady, which is great. So what does the demon lady actually give us? Let's go step by step. So demon form actually gives you 24% increased cast speed while in demon form. It gives you +6 to all spell skills while in demon form, and you lose 0.5% of your life per second per demon flame. And you also deal 17% increased spell damage per demon flame. So what is demon flame? Demon flame is a debuff that you get while you're in demon form, basically. So this one gives you all those juicy benefits while also depleting your life, basically. What does this mean? This means that the more stacks you get the more of your life will start to deplete. You'll see once we reach like 150, my HP will start to drop. Now, the entire idea of this build and how it works is to stack as many possible stacks of Demon Flame in the map or during a boss fight or whatever. And how do we do that? Well, you saw in the text that the Demon Flame depletes your HP on a 0.5%. So if we have low enough HP until you get diminishing returns, then you can basically counter the debuff with total life recovery per second. As you can see, I have 214 life recovery per second and I only have 119 HP. So my regen is more than my total life pool. Now ideally I want to get this to around 300-ish. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, 300 is kind of the goal, or 320, 330. We'll see how it all pans out. But for now, this is what we got. Like I said, it's a build in progress. It's not the final version, and I'm still experimenting with stuff. As you can see, we already have 140 stacks, and our HP is not moving. So this is basically gonna go. Your damage is gonna go higher and higher the more stacks you get. You can see the tooltip of Hexblast is going up 134k, 135k, and so on and so forth. And now my HP is starting to dip a little bit. Oh, yeah, see, it goes 191, and then the more you get, the lower your HP. There we go, now it's ramping. So, about 160, 170 stacks is pretty safe, and then you got like almost 150k tooltip on your Hexblast, which is great. So now that we know the basics of the build, let's see how we can, what other moving parts are there. So we know that we want to lower our life pool. How do we do that? We use 3 uniques. We use 2 Ming's Heart and 1 Ghost Ray, right? Let's start with the rings. Ming's Heart. So you get 35% of your damage is extra chaos damage, which is great. But the main line is 24% reduced maximum life. How do you get 24? You catalyze it with life catalysts. So just by catalyzing it, you go from 20 to 24. If you're lucky and and you corrupt it, you could get up to 26 or 27. I don't remember exactly. I was not so lucky. So yeah, if you're gonna corrupt them yourself, keep in mind to always catalyze them first before volleying them. Now, the second unique item that we have is Ghost Ride. Ghost Ride converts, well, technically it should be 50% of your maximum life converted to energy shield. But again, with a good corruption in PoE 2, you can increase those stats, and mine is currently 52 of life converted to energy shield. Ideally it would be a little bit higher, but these can get quite expensive. Now, you can also see that the max ES went up and my max chaos res went up. I got 40 chaos res, 121 ES, and 52 max life converted to energy shield. If you're gonna do this yourself, remember to socket your chest piece. Do not just buy them without socketing them. You will lose massive amounts of resistance if you don't socket them, and the resistances can be quite a struggle on this build. Okay, so corrupt it after you put sockets. Okay. The high end of the maximum life converted to energy shield should be around 60 to 61. That would be really, really good. If you get that, you're rich, especially if you get the sockets in. So these are the main things that we use to lower our life pool. If I take these off, you can see my HP already going up. So 823 life without these 3. We put them back on, 198. So the lower the life, the better, until you hit diminishing returns. I think diminishing returns start to show up around 200. Now, the rest of the gear is very simple. Weapons, you don't need them, because while you're in demon form, the item provides no stats while shapeshifted. So this is actually completely useless. I'm just using it just because I had it. I picked it up and I think I auto-equipped it or something, I don't know. But the weapons, you don't need them. You save a lot of currency with this build just because you don't need weapons. Weapons can get pretty expensive. Now, with the rest of the gear, you want a few stats. You only want resistances, mana, energy shield and life regeneration per second. That's the main things that you want. Let's start with the helmet. A helmet, you want ideally a energy shield base with high energy shield, so your survivability goes even higher. This is what I have, so this is what I'm rocking. So you want energy shield, mana, resistances, and life regeneration. You can get life regeneration on 3 pieces of gear. You can get it on 4 pieces of gear, sorry. Helmet, amulet, boots, and belt. So you want high ES, high mana, resistances, and high regen. For the boots, high ES, high resistances, regen. For the gloves, high ES, mana, resistances. Now the gloves, these are the ones that cannot roll life regeneration rate. So it's important to get as much of your resistances as possible on the gloves. I am res capped, fortunately, but if you're not, lower the HP, lower the energy shield on your gloves and try to get a triple res pair of gloves with mana and energy shield as much as you can get it, but prioritize your res. Resistances can be very difficult on this build. On my boots, I completely skipped on movement speed because the dash while you're in demon form is pretty nice. You can do it pretty quickly and it covers decent ground. So I completely opted out for movement speed. You can go for movement speed and lower your energy shield bar by a little bit. This is personal preference, so it's all up to you. So you want resistances, regen, and energy shield. For the belt, again, resistances, regen, mana. That's what you want. And for the amulet, now this is a bit of a tricky part, let's say. Ideally you want +2 to all spells, +1 is good as well. You want high life regeneration per second. You want 1 resist, and then for the prefixes you want energy shield and mana. Now I don't have mana, this is what I'm working with, so I got flat energy shield and percent energy shield, which is pretty good. Not the best base. I think the best base would be the one with the spirit base, the spirit implicit, because I cannot use heightened curse.
Feast on flesh.
I cannot use heightened curse without getting some more spirit. So I highly recommend getting some spirit somewhere. You can get, instead of the rarity, if you get spirit, it's GG. So yeah, that's the gear that I'm currently using. For the flasks, I think it's important for you to have a gain charges per second on your flasks. So even if the boss takes a bit longer, then you still regenerate a few charges while you're while the boss has an immunity phase or something or whatever. Now let's go on to the skills. Chaos Bolt is from the one, so ignore that. Demon Form is very important to stack it with Ingenuity and Second Wind, because you'll run into situations where you gotta click a lever or open the door or something, and it just removes you from Demon Form, and then you want to jump back in without having to wait a lot. As you can see, I went out of Demon Form and it's still charging, so you definitely want to have Second Wind and Ingenuity. Okay, Summon Infernal Hound, that's from an Ascendancy. I am basically using him as a Culling Strike machine. So I only got him linked to Elemental Army, Meat Shield, and Minion Mastery with Culling Strike. So basically just runs around, ignites enemies. This is very important, we're going to come back to this later. He ignites enemies and offers us Culling Strike, which is great. Hexblast is our main damage dealer. As you can see, I have one level 22 right now. It's corrupted. I'm still missing a link. I linked it to Control Destruction, Arcane Tempo, Chaos Mastery, and Inspiration. If I had a 6th link, I would probably use Minion Pact. What is it? Totally prepared. There it is. If I had a 6th link, this is probably what I would use. Support skills remove 100% of your maximum life, which is very little, from nearby minion to deal 40% more damage. So every time you would cast Hexblast, let me just suck it in real quick. God damn it. So let's remove Chaos Mastery, for example. Every time I would cast Hexblast, my minion would take damage, but I do 40% more damage. That would probably be my sixth-link, but for now I'm using Control Destruction, Arcane Tempo, Chaos Mastery, and Inspiration. Inspiration, I think it's mandatory 100% because the mana cost of this skill is so stupid. Like without Demon Form, it's 99 mana. I go into Demon Form and it's 207 mana. So the mana cost is absolutely ridiculous. It's very, very difficult to sustain mana without having a boatload of mana regen. For defenses, I'm using Grim Fist linked to Clarity, again for mana regeneration rate. And Grim Fist basically doubles your HP, your shield pool, going from 7k to like 14k, 15k, stuff like that, depending on how many monsters there are. So that's basically it that you'll be needing for mapping. Just swap into Demon Form and then blast with Hexblast. Now, when you get a boss or a pinnacle boss, I have 3 additional skills. Ball Lightning, Essence Drain, and Mana Tempest. Ball Lightning I link to Withering Touch, Deceleration, and Persistence for a longer duration of Lightning Ball Lightning. And basically because Ball Lightning hits so fast and so many times a second, it will apply 10 stacks of Wither almost instantly to the target. So whenever a target is withered, they deal they take 5% increased chaos damage per stack, so this stacks up to 10 times, so 50% increased chaos damage, which is great. Mana Tempest is a cooldown that I use, conjures this Tempest, but also it gives you with Premeditation, skills empowered by supported skills deal 15% more damage. That means our Hexblast will deal 15% more damage. So yeah, this is a thing that I use on bosses, basically pinnacle bosses. And the last but not least is Essence Drain. Essence Drain has one single purpose, a little bit of damage, and freezing enemies. So this is how you freeze bosses with this build. Basically, chaos damage contributes to freeze buildup for hits against targets taking damage over time from supported skills. Basically, you land, oops, not that one. You land a Essence Drain on the target, and then when you smack him with your Hexblast, because the hit is so large, is so big, such a massive hit, the target will get frozen basically, right? And I also linked it to Hinder, just because to add a little bit of slow, and Drain Elements. Now this is when I was saying that we're going to pay attention to the Ignite offered by the Hellhound, is supported skills consume a random element on the target, the random element being Ignite from the Doggo. When inflicting damage over time debuffs, causing the debuff to deal 30% more damage if an element was consumed. Okay? So, the dog will ignite it, you send in your Ball Lightning for the Wither, you send in your Essence Drain real quick, and then they're gonna get frozen and withered, and then you just pummel them to the ground with Hexblast. Okay, so those are my links, that's my gear. Let's talk about the tree, because there's a few things that I want to talk about in here as well. Now, Demon Form, we already went what that is, what that does. It's the basic, is the bread and butter of this skill, this build. Hellhound, again, main reason for this guy is Curling Strike and Inflicting an Ignite. He also tanks a few hits, so that's nice. Then we go into Altered Flesh, cold damage taken as, blah blah blah. We don't really care about this one. Oh, that's rude. And this one, then we go into Baydat's Will, just so I can get a little bit more spirit to do some additional links to my Blasphemy. Oh, I forgot, I skipped Blasphemy. Okay. Blasphemy, basically for Hexblast to deal any sort of damage, like any sort, is just like in PoE 1. It requires the enemy to be cursed. So, you need to curse the enemy, and we do that with Blasphemy, Despair, and Magnified Effect. If I had a little bit more spirit, I could use Heightened Curse, but I can't, because it turns this off. So, yeah, it is what it is. In the future, maybe we get a little bit more spirit and we can use Highland Curse as well. Okay, back to this. So, you can go for, if you have enough spirit, you could go for mana per 6 life is very nice. The mana, you saw the mana cost is absolutely insane. So you have if you have a huge mana pool, the more the better. Then you could also go for energy shield if you have enough mana and you have enough spirit. Now, I don't really care about max demon flame because you can already go like 100-200 stacks. Pyromantic pack is nice, but you really risk dying because the damage you take is pretty high unless you got huge max fire resistance. Even so, it's a percent of your life and energy shield, so I really don't recommend it. Okay, moving forward to the skill tree. I path it over here, energy shield, cast speed, mana regen, energy shield, energy shield, energy shield. You can see where this is going. Like energy shield, area of effect, life regen, and yeah. More energy shield, more mana regen. So basically energy shield, mana regeneration, and a lot of int. Yeah. There's no really need to waste points into damage. The only damage nodes I took is this one. Just so you can inflict like a small wither when you walk into map, so you don't have to cast your ball lightning. It's just nice to have. But the main damage comes from demon form, which grants you increased spell damage, so I don't really think it's worth the points investing into damage nodes. It's better than just going to full survivability and full quality of life with mana regeneration. The next very important part in the build is the jewels. I cannot stress this enough. The jewels are absolutely mandatory. This is why you can see this weird pathing over here just for jewel slots, a bunch of them. I want to get the max res and then path down to another jewel slot. What you want on your jewels is two things. Let me see if I can find one. What is it? Nope, that's not it. That's not it. This one, okay. Not that one, my bad. This one, okay. So the main thing you want on your jewel is life regen, increased life regeneration rate, and increased area of effect. These are the main two things that you want on jewels, but they can become very expensive. I would probably recommend going one mod, and that is life regeneration rate. Try to get as high as possible so you can get more demon flame stacks, get more damage, more uptime on your demon form, and focus on the AoE later. Once you get enough currency so you can spend like 40-50 exalts on the jewel that has both stats, then yeah, but until then, focus on getting increased life regeneration rate. That's the main thing that you need to do. As you can see, I have 214. If I take this out, 204. So it's the percent increased life regeneration rate is very, very important. Prioritize that, and then if you can get one with the AoE as well, that's better, because it helps with the clear. So yeah, life regeneration rate. This one only has AoE. This one has mana regeneration rate. You can also use some of those with AoE. Life regeneration rate. Cast speed also good with AoE. Area of effect with increased effect of wither. Life regeneration rate and area of effect. So that's what you want on your jewels. If you can also get corruption on your jewels to help you cap your resistances. I did this by the skin of my teeth, as you can see, like 75, 77, 76, just by getting some corruption cold resistance jewels. If you need corruption resistances, try to either get these before you get your gear, so you already have like an idea of how to gear your character. Okay. Other than that, we went over the skills, the tree, the gear, basically everything that's to see. Now I'll continue to tweak on this build and see what happens. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you find it helpful, leave a comment. Let me let me know if you guys have any idea how to increase the life regeneration. Let me know how you can improve the build. I'm down for theory crafting and doing some experiments. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, take care and stay safe.